Hi guys, Kieren here from Altern8 Training in St Ives, and I have teamed up with Heart Research Australia to give you a bit of guidance about mobility. So this video is meant to go hand in hand with an article that I've written for Heart Research Australia, and I'm sure you can find on their website. And in that article, I kind of outline the definition of mobility, why it's important, how it changes through our different age groups. And then this video is meant to complement it by giving you a few examples of some mobility movements or routines that you can do easily at your home, just while you're watching TV or wherever it kind of suits into your day. Okay, so here are some short exercises or mobility movements that you can do at home. Like I said, I kind of do mine watching TV. So I want you to pretend you're on your couch watching TV. But again, just finding when it suits you is going to be the best kind of practice. One thing I want to mention as well is that I like to separate my mobility into kind of the front side of my body and then the back side of my body. So one day I'll do all the muscles around the back side of my body, and then the next day or the day after I'll do the front side. So first of all, starting with the back side of our body, starting with the ankle joint, I like to do calf pumps to start off with, okay? So this one you are required to go on the ground, okay? You can still just doing it in the ad break of your TV, and then you're just gonna be pumping your heels to the ground, in and out, okay? Getting some movement through your ankle joints. After that, we can move up the leg into our hamstrings, okay? So again, sitting down, watching TV, straighten out that leg, and I just want you to sweep down towards your heel. Coming back up, sweeping down towards your heel. Now, through my article, if you read it, there's the definition, there's a difference between the dynamic movements where you're moving and you're getting some range of motion through the stretches, okay? And there's also static stretching where you kind of hold that position for an extended period of time, okay? Both have their pros and cons. Both can be used at different kind of stages of before or after training. Read the article to get a bit of guidance there. And then after hamstrings, okay, we can go into our glutes. So glute medius specifically, what I want you to do is get this foot, pop it over your knee, okay? Light bit of pressure on this other knee that's bent, okay? And then leaning forward, and again, either kind of doing pumps where you kind of lean in, hold for a few seconds to come back, or you can just kind of find a spot and hold it for an extended period of time. I like to hold each one for about 5 or 6 deep breaths. Every breath out, try to feel that muscle relax just a little bit more. From the glutes, we can work up our body even further and go into our kind of glute maximus lower back area by doing some scorpions. So lying on your back, okay, shoulder blades flat, I like my hands out to the side, bring your knee into the air, opposite hand holds onto it and pulls it across. And again, either just holds it, or you can do little pumps, hold for a few seconds, release that tension, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, nice and relaxed, deep breathing the whole time, okay? Last one I'll do for the back is going to be some cat-cows, very common exercise, great for some active movements and some control, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to break it into hips, shoulders, head or neck, and then do the reverse, head, shoulders, hips. Okay, so segmented into those 3 areas. Okay, you can play with the different orders if you like. We just want to make sure we're going to separate all those 3 movements. And then the last 2, just a little bit of more upper body work. We're going to just do a child's pose, hands on, just underneath the shoulders, feet are flat, sitting back onto your heels. And I like to do sweeps. So I'm just going to walk my hands over to one side and then sit down. Okay, try to sit back onto my heels. As I sweep over to my left, I should feel the stretch down my opposite right side, okay? Hold that for a few deep breaths, bouncing if you like to, and then doing the other side, bouncing. And the last one is just gonna be for my wrists, okay, my wrist joints. So what I'm gonna do, again, in this position, turning my hands around. Don't have to go all the way, so there's fine, but as far as you're able to. And starting really close, my hands close to my knees. I'm gonna keep my palms flat, elbows locked out, lean back, hold for a few seconds, and then release that tension. Lean back, hold for a few seconds, release that tension. And that's it for the posterior side of your body. So that's it for the posterior side. That's your mobility routine for one day. Okay, on the other day, we're gonna be working on the front side of your body. Okay, so again, starting down low on our ankles. I like to start by just sitting onto my feet, essentially. So toes are flat, okay, or the top of my shoes are flat. Toes are pointed, I should say. And I'm just gonna come back onto my ankles. Okay, really lightly, so start up tall if you need to. And I'm just gonna rock side to side, try to flatten out my feet, okay? As you get more mobile in this area, you can get more tension on there, okay? And do some rocks back and forward. And even if you wanna make it even worse, you can start to lean back, drive forward, and you even get a bit of a stretch into your quads. Additionally, if you want to stretch out your quads separately to your ankles, we can do a seated quad stretch. So from a seated position, just get your foot underneath your bum, like so, roll over to your opposite elbow and then look over your shoulder. Okay, that's going to be a great stretch to hold up for your quads. Okay, and then 2 stretches for your adductors. The one most common, butterfly. So either just holding your feet together, knees apart, and just rocking back and forward. Okay, that's going to do the shoulder muscles mainly of your adductors. And then I like hip rocks. Okay, so hip rocks, you're going to have one knee on the ground, one foot out to the side. Maybe I'll do it this way so you can see. One foot out to the side, locked out. And I'm going to use the ground and my hands to push back, feel the stretch on the inside of my leg here, and then release that tension. Push back and feel the stretch for a few seconds. Maybe one deep breath, and then release that tension. Now, one stretch that I definitely like to include for my front side of my body is going to be for my hip flexors. Okay, so a very commonly tight muscle, kind of on the top of your hip here. And then the way we do it is just having one knee on the ground, okay, driving your hips forward, keeping your chest up and almost back. So we're kind of stretching out this muscle here. So there's a bit of an arc from my knee all the way back to my shoulders. It also normally helps if I can engage my core, squeeze this glute, this back glute as hard as I can, and raise this hand into the sky, okay? So holding that, it doesn't have to be a huge forward lean. It's more about just making sure that we are engaging properly and targeting the right area. From there, we can move up, okay, into our abs and upper body. So a little ab stretch, good for your thoracic spine as well, is just a cobra. I like to start with just hands way out in front of me, and it's a little push up. Trying to drive my hips into the ground, my core's engaged, making sure my hips stay on the ground. And if I feel like that's okay, and I feel quite mobile, my hands can come a bit closer, and I can push higher up, okay? Always making sure that I'm almost like trying to push my stomach out forwards and keeping my hips on the ground, okay? But again, progress into that, start off with your hands way out in front, just start there, and then as you get more confident, you can bring them closer and closer to your body. The last stretch I'm going to show you is going to be for your chest, okay? And can't be done kind of in front of the TV unless there's a doorway nearby, but you do need a doorway. So we're in the kitchen here, so maybe just after you've done the dishes or cleaned up or something like that, or on your way to brushing your teeth, or even on your way to bed, all you need is a doorway. Okay, elbow supported on each side, depending on how big you are. Okay, and you just gotta lean into it nice and gently, and then you kind of rotate to your right, rotate to your left. If you don't have a doorway that's too big, that's not big enough, you can also just do one side at a time. So lean forward slightly, rotate out, and hold for a few seconds, and again, you can make it dynamic by kind of holding and releasing, and then doing the other side. So there you have it. There's some pretty simple movements you can do at home, okay, every day or every other day, just while you're watching TV, just before you go to bed. Can't stress enough the importance of mobility, okay, at different stages of life. It has different requirements, different needs, and it not only helps us in the gym, but a lot of stuff just in every day of life, okay? I don't want to give too many of the kind of golden nuggets from the article, but yeah, make sure you go and read that, because mobility is super, super important. And let's get more mobile with Heart Research Australia in February.